With the pattern file in our pattern window, it is about time that we start making a real change to the template we got. We have a upper and a lower part for a dress, and we're going to make those changes. You will see that the lower part has a certain well, nasty glitch, I should almost say. The proportions between the upper and the lower part are not exactly the same. So the difference is even no less than 20%. So everything you use on the upper part, if you use exactly the same pattern on the lower part, it will appear much bigger. So we need to scale that down before we can use it. I will show you in this tutorial how to do it. We are starting with the upper part because that is the easiest. We open the copy that we have with lace here and open it. There we go. This is the one we have been working on earlier, and now we are going to make this into this nicely blue pattern that we just have made. And before we do anything else, we are going to save this as new textures PSD. There. This way we are not messing up with the original and work in the new template, in our new template only. Now we are going to activate the base layer, right click and choose alpha to selection. You will see these marching ants, as they are called, around the selection. We are going to fill this with our new made pattern. So we select the bucket tool, we check pattern file, fill, and we select the blue pattern. Make sure that we fill the whole selection, and now we click in it, and there it is. Isn't that nice? You will see that the breast shade and the side shades that are in the original template are still there because they are in a higher layer. Now we need to adjust, of course, also the ribbon and the border because that is still red. In order to do that, we want to have that color, so I choose the color picker and I click on the blue part here in the dress. I click it again because I want to make it a little bit darker. I want to give it a little bit more contrast, like this for instance, and I say OK. Now I make this layer invisible. I go to this layer and I say alpha to selection, and I am going to fill this with the foreground color. So click it, there we go. If I put this one on top, you can very well see it has a nice border now. Now we're going to do the same with the ribbon. So we're going here, we say alpha to selection, and we click in our selection with the arrow. There we go. We are going to remove our background and we are going to say File, Save a Copy as New Texture Blue, and then we want it to not a PSD but a PNG, so we can upload it to the grid. Save, export. Save the background color, yes, save the resolution, etc, etc. Okay, we've done that. Now don't forget that the PNG still is 1024 by 1024. So this one I can save with Ctrl S, close down, and then File, Open, and I open the new blue texture that I just made. Let me see, here it is, blue. Open it up, and I select Image, Scale Image, and in pixels we will say 512 by 512 and scale it. Ctrl S, and there we go. This one is ready to upload to the grid. Now we're going to look at the lower file, the lower pattern. We say Open, and we check a lower PSD. There we go. Here it is. There is no uh, background, no shaded grid on, but we actually don't need it because we are not going to change anything about the model. We're just going to change the textures. Well, as I told you, the difference in the pattern of the lower and the upper one is no less than 20%. We can do two things. We can scale this one down to 80%, or we can scale this one up to 120%, which in this case is a lot easier. Before I do anything, again, I will save it as a new texture, PSD, so I will not work in the original. So, and now I'm going to upgrade it. So I choose image, scale image, and instead of the pixels I will choose the percentage, and I will scale it up to 120%. There we go, and we say scale. So now it is a lot bigger, and that way in the end the pattern will go and fit to the one on the upper part. Right click, we do the same steps as we did with the upper part. Pattern fill, click, there is the pattern, and we can here alpha to selection, click, and we say foreground fill, and we click that, and there is the blue foreground fill, and then we say file, save a copy as a new texture, blue, and we choose save, export, save. This one we can close after saving it, and now we are opening that lower part that we just made. Here it is, open, and we say image, scale image, and now mind you, it is still in percentage. We choose pixels and we choose 512 by 512, because then we will have scaled it down and have adjusted that difference in scaling. Ctrl S and save it. It's time to upload it to the grid. So I opened my viewer. In my case it is a Phoenix viewer. This gives you the opportunity to upload a temp file. So it doesn't cost you any money, and it is only to see and try if this is the correct settings. So I'm going to say file, upload, and I say an image, Ctrl U. I select the upper part, I say open, and now I click here the temporary free button, and I say upload. It will upload, but it will not cost me any money, and I will be able to see them in recent items here in textures. I'm going into appearance, I'm checking my shirt, I'm going to put the new texture on, and I say save as new spring dress upper. That is fine. Okay, now let's have a look. How is that going to be? Let it res. I will detach this one for a better look, and yes, that looks nice. A nice one with flowers. Great. Now let's do the same with the lower part. File, upload, image, and I choose the lower one. I say it is temporary. I upload it. I go into appearance. I click the pants part. I use the pants, and I say save as new lower pants. Save. OK. And now you can see what I have been talking about. Now you see that the pattern in the let it res. Now you can see that the pattern in the upper and the lower one is about the same size. I must admit this is not exactly matching. In order to do that, that is really hard to do in Gimp. That is, I just have to admit that is really hard to do in Gimp. But because we are going to have a skirt that is going to be exactly on this layer, you won't see the difference between these parts. To the next chapter of the tutorial, I will show you how to make a nice texture for our skirt.